There's a big game in the English Premier League this weekend. Manchester United against Spurs. Spurs fresh from scoring loads of goals against Everton, and Man United fresh from conceding loads of goals against Man City. So is it a good game for Man United, knowing that they have an opportunity to get that defeat out their system? Or a good game for Spurs, knowing that United right now are in a bit of disarray, Ali?
I did, yeah. That's an understatement right there. But I suppose that there's going to be a reaction from Manchester United, right? Yeah, there should be some competitive pride, because if there's something that has been questioned about Manchester United following their matchup against Manchester City is not the fact that they lost. Losing to Manchester City, I suppose that it was always going to be an option. But the manner in which they lost and the capitulation of the second half and the body language all over the field. Now, I'm no body language expert, but I can tell you there were shoulders down, heads down, and fingers being pointed every direction, and very little work being done defensively by Manchester United in that second half. So if there's no reaction from Manchester United, then all this criticism and all this finger pointing is going to continue, is going to pile on. It is necessary for this locker room, for this group of players, to make sure that at the very least against Spurs, they fight. They show a little bit of toughness. They show a little bit of pride. All the things that you equate with Manchester United over their very successful history that has not been a part of this very group. They've complained about coaches. They complain about assistant coaches. They complain about training sessions. The performance on the field, from the players on the field, is the thing that they should complain about. At some point, they have to be able to take a look in the mirror and say, maybe it's about us, and how the only people that can get us out of this sort of feeling, out of this negative momentum, is us. What better opportunity than to do it against Spurs?
If Cristiano Ronaldo's available for selection, would you start him?
Oh, you mean the mysterious hip flexor? If he's available and the hip flexor is okay, then yes, I start him, simply because I don't know that I have enough game winners within this team to afford the absence of a guy who, whatever you may think of him at this point of his career, you know full well that if he has one or two chances inside the 18-yard box, he's going to score a goal for you. And Manchester United right now are searching for goals. Where they come from, how they create this opportunity, but Cristiano Ronaldo would be the guy that potentially could give you a game winner and could potentially win a game for you when nobody else around you is capable or willing to do so.
The level of speculation about what's going on at Old Trafford, would we have seen this if Man United were just going steady, winning most weeks, and maybe not challenging for the title, but doing better than they are? Or does it blow up, whether it's Ronaldo or whoever, but especially Ronaldo, because the team is not doing well right now?
Oh, well, of course. Of course. I think Manchester United fans would understand that the difference between Manchester City, Liverpool, and them is pretty significant. And that closing that gap was going to take some time. But when you see the performance against Manchester City, you then recognize that it's not just that there is a 3-goal difference or a 4-goal difference. No, there's so much more than that. It's not the 22 points in the standing. It's so much more than that. And that's what really, I think, for Manchester United fans, that's what really hurts, is that, man, we're not close now, but we're not getting close anytime soon. We thought that this was going to be a year in which, yeah, we were closing the gap. We were going to build momentum. We're going to feel good about ourselves. Not quite close enough yet, but we're going to see signs. Instead, you're seeing signs of regression. You're seeing signs of going the opposite direction. That has to be frustrating. And again, it's yet another opportunity against Spurs in which you get a chance to say, okay, people, we've hit rock bottom. Maybe it's time for us to start trending in the correct direction. At the very least, take a step forward. Not one step forward and 3 steps back.
Consistency of results is something that Spurs have managed of late, but not of performance. Win-loss, 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 and so on. They go to the Etihad, they beat Man City away, then they lose at Burnley. They had an excellent win over Everton. So what can we expect for them at Old Trafford?
Well, you just mentioned it. If you go back all the way to mid-February in their matchup against Wolves, the statistical pattern, the trend has been in all competitions, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one. And we're supposed to get excited about what they do against Manchester City. Hey, all right, now we believe. And then they lose to Burnley and say, well, we don't believe anymore. And then they destroy Leeds. Okay, we believe now. And then they lose to Middlesbrough. And you're thinking, well, which is it? And that is a question that I think Antonio Conte and these players are probably asking themselves, which is it? We are 5 goals better than Everton and dominated and destroyed Everton. But is that the measuring stick? Leeds, we destroyed Leeds. We're so much better than Leeds. Well, is that the measuring stick? Because both of these teams are way down there in the relegation battle. And then you lose to Burnley as well, that are down there in that relegation battle too. And so Spurs is a hard team to figure out. The talent in the group should be better than struggling against some of the teams that we just mentioned. And while they are not at the level of Manchester City or Liverpool, they should be right there in the mix with Chelsea, with Manchester United, with Arsenal. And yet it's been sort of this kind of, you lose 3, you win a couple, you lose 3, you win a couple, and now they've gone into this pattern of win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1. That doesn't say a lot about the strength of this team in being able to find consistency, because the message that we have is they're consistently inconsistent.
Overall, has Antonio Conte improved Spurs, both visually and the way that they play?
But if you ask Antonio Conte, that's the very same question 10 days ago, he was essentially asking to get fired. Like, I don't know. He has gone from blaming the team, the group of players, to blaming himself, to, this is not the right situation for me. So Antonio Conte himself, not me, never mind me, I'm not important. Antonio Conte, the guy who's coaching the team, who's managing the team, he's telling us, I don't know if I have good enough players. I don't know if I'm good enough for this. He's pointing the finger that way. He's pointing the finger this way. He's pointing the finger every which way. And he's essentially saying, this group of players, all they're going to do is damage my reputation. That to me says that Antonio Conte is not very clear as to what a good version of Spurs looks like and whether that's going to be happening anytime soon. And again, I go back to this word, with any sort of consistency.
Who finishes higher in the table at the end of the season among these two teams, Manchester United or Tottenham Hotspur, or flip a coin?
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Neither one of them are going to have what they consider to be a successful season. This has been frustration from both of them. You know what? The statistical pattern is going to stay with Spurs. And so they won the last one. That means that if the trend stays the same, they're going to lose against Manchester United, which then tells me that Manchester United will do just enough to hold off Spurs and be above Spurs in the standings. But neither one of them are going to be happy with the way the season has gone.
Indeed, it's the kind of result this weekend, none of them would surprise us. A United win, a draw, or a Spurs win. Full coverage here at ESPN FC.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.